Welcome back to the TW Local 591 podcast. My name is Gary Shuttle, your local president. This is the Friday Rep Call Summary podcast. Joining me today in our headquarters is your executive board member at large, Chris Horvath, and joining us remotely is your administrative executive board member, Russ Dittmer. So we'll jump right into it. Russ, you want to handle the peer support update?
Sure. There's a couple of items here. The first is the company benefits enrollment confirmations have started to be mailed out. This is a good time for a reminder to review the confirmation for accuracy, but also to put a copy of that confirmation from the company in a safe place, along with your will, trust, bereavement checklist, and any other life event documents, life decision documents, or financial documents. Along with that, for voluntary union insurance benefits for all 591 and local 567 members, you should have received your premium payment instructions to the email address you provided during your enrollment. If you have not received that email, check your spam folder first. And if you still don't have the instructions, just contact EFP, the benefit counselors there, at 1-844-606-0524. Again, that's 844-606-0254.
All right, thanks, Russ. Chris, you want to handle the ASAP?
Sure. When you file an ASAP, you are agreeing to fully participate in the ASAP process, which will involve interviews and discussions with either local 591 ASAP compliance coordinators and or also with the company and the FAA if necessary, which is rare. This also means in order to be accepted into the ASAP program, you may need coaching and counseling from the ASAP Event Review Committee. That coaching and counseling is normally done by the local 591 ASAP compliance coordinators and is a part of the process which you agree to in order for an ASAP report to be accepted. It is not optional. If you refuse to accept the coaching and counseling from the local 591 ASAP compliance coordinators, you will likely be excluded from ASAP and your issue will be closed. I'll roll right into safety. Winter is here. If you work in a cold weather climate, and also if you accept a field trip to a cold weather climate, check the PPE catalog for any cold weather PPE you might need. Ice cleats, cold weather gloves, etc. Look that up in the PPE catalog in the JetNet search. Just go on the right-hand top corner and type in PPE. I'll continue with the VP's grievance update. For the December GRB, Grievance Review Board, the local presented one discipline case. The issue is now being reviewed by the company prior to rendering their GRB decision. On the field trips, I reported that I tracked for the week of December 19th, 34 for the line field trips and 3 for the base field trips.
All righty, thanks. So a couple updates. Membership meetings. We had the Southwest Region National Membership Meeting at DFW this past Wednesday in our Grapevine headquarters. Fantastic turnout. It was a record. Lots of really good input. Lots of really good questions. We also had really good participation on Zoom. So remember, you don't need to register ahead of time. Just get on there, log in, and good to go. So the other one, elections. We have 3 elections that should be posted soon for nominations. Probably next week as a result of the recent bylaw change, and they are the DFW AMT Avionics Section Chair, the DFW MLS at CFC Section Chair, and the Miami AMT Avionics Section Chair. So watch your email. Local 591 official postings page for the information on the nomination period and the forms and any election info that is necessary. So, Russ, you have a topic on financial?
Yeah, there is a fluid situation going on right now that was brought to our attention yesterday. Apparently, there's been a change to how 401k catch-up contributions for 2026 may be handled. Through the Secure 2.0 Act that's setting every community up for retirement enhancement 2.0 of 2022. Moving forward in 2026, there may be a limit on using pre-tax earnings for some 401k contributions. We say fluid situation because the final rule in the Federal Register was only published in September of 2025. So this rule may or may not be in effect for the next year tax season and we will continue to work on getting better details to you soon. As we've seen before with federal regulation, there appear to be some date conflicts, supposed rule, final rule that will probably need to be explained. Right now, it's clear that there are a lot more questions than there are answered. With that said, on the conflicting dates the government has put out for the start of the Roth catch-up as of 2026 and 2027, Local 591 want you to be aware of this, and we'll treat this podcast info as it being enacted in 2026 to be on the safe side for our members. If this does get pushed to 2027 or later, that would really be great. However, we should never assume anything with the government or the IRS. So what this means is currently for both the standard catch-up, if you're age 50 plus, and the super catch-up, ages 60 through 63, according to the statute, if your W-2 wages from your employer are more than $145,000, we're also hearing $150,000, but that's not yet confirmed, then either type of catch-up contributions may need to be done with after-tax Roth 401k. And you might not be able to use pre-tax monies for those catch-up contributions. Again, we're working on getting more details on this change in effective date, but simply put, as written today, it appears that if your AA W-2 earnings for 2025 exceed $145,000, or if updated, this may be $150,000, you may not be permitted to pay for either your catch-up or your super catch-up with pre-tax earnings, and you may need to use after-tax earnings and contribute into a Roth 401k fund. As a reminder, the local cannot give legal or financial advice. We're simply telling our members about the change happening with the 401k catch-up and super catch-up contributions, which may be going into effect in 2026. If you have any specific questions on how this may or will affect you and your contributions, we suggest that you speak with your tax preparer, accountant, or even investment funds manager. When and if you do contact your tax preparer, you may want to refer them to the Federal Registered Document 17865, that's 17865, posted September 16th of this year, 2025, titled Catch Up Contributions. Gary?
All right, thanks, Russ. And that was some really good information. And we appreciate some of the members that have passed that information along to make sure that it was on our radar. So thanks for bringing that to our attention, Russ.
Absolutely. That was some really good information we got, and we definitely are appreciative of our members being alert and telling us.
All right, one final topic. We're getting reports that management in some stations has taken it upon themselves to hover over our crew chiefs and tell our crew chiefs to quickly assign all work at the beginning of the shift to make sure that their my stats numbers look good. We've been told that. And some in management have already said that they know it will make more work and wasted productivity later. It's simple. The company, they can track any numbers they want, but when it comes to our members being pressured to make numbers look good, our focus of Local 591 is always going to be on making sure that the crew chiefs have the time, the resources, and the training to do their jobs right and do their jobs right the first time. The only thing that matters is a safe flight. That said, just as disturbing, we're getting reports that some of those supervisors and managers are going so far as to trying to tell the crew chiefs who to put on what task. First, if this is happening to you, contact your Local 591 representative as soon as possible. Next, we need to remind every crew chief that according to the contract that the company signed with all of us in the union, crew chiefs own the decision on who to assign to what task, not management. Crew chiefs are contractually responsible daily to make sure each member they assign to a task is fully qualified to accomplish and sign for that work. This all starts with the workload. If the crew chief has not been provided the workload, they cannot start the member qualification reviews and assignments. Putting it bluntly, our crew chiefs need a time to do their jobs and to do them correctly. And we at Local 591 support doing the job right the first time. Crew chiefs, if you're feeling pressured by management to assign work before you've had the time to review the qualifications, if you're feeling pressured by management to assign work knowing full well it is wrong just to make their numbers look good. And if management's actually telling you, and I've heard this in the stations, to come in early on your own time to get the manning done on a timely manner, that's a no. So that said, if any of these things are happening to you, contact your in-station local 591 representatives. And also, I would suggest copying in, if it's an AMT, your e-board member Mark Erler; for MLS, your e-board member John Benke; and if this is happening in the GSE or facilities ranks, your e-board member Santos Dorda, as soon as possible. As always, take notes on what happened. Name names. We need to fix this, and the local is here to make sure we get it fixed. Our phone numbers, our email addresses are always on the local 591 website and on bulletin boards across the country. Anything else?
Happy holidays to you and your family, and stay safe, please.
Yep. Same here. Wishing you all a very safe and happy holiday season, Christmas, New Year, and whatever other holidays you celebrate.
All right. Well, thanks. Well, that's our podcast for this week. As always, any thoughts, issues, suggestions for future podcasts, please send them to info@local591.com. I would say on behalf of your Local 591 Executive Board, all of our chairmen, chairwomen, and reps across the country, wish each of you a very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season.